Hi, I appreciate you joining me today. Let me tell you something. I hope you're not riding around without seat belts. You shouldn't be doing that anyway for for safety reasons. But today, because I know we have a lot of delivery drivers, we even have truck drivers that listen to this program across the country. I want you to buckle up because of my guest today, Astria Goolsby. That name sounds familiar because if you've just joined us and started following us maybe within the last couple of months, the name may not have been familiar, but if you've been hanging with us for the last couple of years, the name sounds vaguely familiar. That's because she is one of the greatest health fitness consultants on this side of heaven. And I mean that she is not only concerned about your physicality, the physicality of who you are, but she is concerned about the holisticness of who you are. So you are going to be blessed today. You're going to be encouraged. You're going to be inspired. Call everybody you know and ask them to join us. Thank you, more importantly, for joining us. Stay tuned. My friend, Astria Goolsby on Defining Moment. Hello, everybody, and welcome again to another edition of Defining Moments. I'm your host, Larry Nix, and I appreciate you being here. First of all, blessed Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. We have listeners and streamers from all over the place. Now, that's not a narcissistic or a prideful statement. It's just a reality that I am glad that you've joined me. Some of you join me live. Some of you come back and you join us through the archives. I appreciate you joining me today. My guest, I'm going to introduce her in just a second. Hold on to your seats. She is one of the most encouraging, on fire, most transparent person that you will ever meet. She is a cheerleader for humanity, not just a part of you, but all of you. If you need a cheerleader, boy, you need a person like her in your foxhole. But I want to let you know I appreciate you joining me. We have listeners from Missouri, from Florida, from Texas, from Michigan, from even the UK. We have people that text me to let me know that you join us, and I appreciate that. I want to remind you, not only on Tuesdays and Thursdays on this terrestrial radio dial, 104.3 FM, for Defining Moments, but I also want to encourage you to join us every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time on IgniteMS.tv. You know, we launched our own digital platform. That is the platform that we're populating, that you can join us live every Wednesday at 11 o'clock on IgniteMS.tv. And not only the program for today, but also other programs that have been archived on our digital network that we're building out, and we certainly appreciate that. Second of all, I want to let you know, you only hear me, you only see me, but there are many incredible brains and hands and people that touch this program. I call her my super producer, Kim. She produced the radio program and is there a word for greater than phenomenal? I don't know what that is. Maybe it's super phenomenal, but she does just such a super job. She is my super producer, and Kim, I appreciate you. She thinks before I think about it, and before I know it, she's pulling it up. I'm like, I just thought about it. She's the kind of person that you need in your foxhole. And then Crystal, she's our graphics design, our social media person. We have a whole social media team that promotes this program. And we have Devontae, who produces our television program, our podcast program. We just brought on an associate producer. You hear more about her a little later on. But there are many, many, many hands that touch this program. You just see my face, but there are many, many hands that touch this program. And I am so humbled, Kim. I'm so humbled, and I just have to thank all of the people that God has put in my path to help me get out of me what he has put inside of me, first of all, for his glory, and second of all, to edify the body of Christ, because you matter. I want you to come a little closer because you need to know this. You matter. Yeah, you go through the ebbs and flows of life, but you need to know that you matter and you have purpose. You're not here accidentally. You're not here incidentally. You're here on purpose, and God has a plan. Even if you don't understand it, God has a plan, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you each and every day. You may say, well, you don't even know who I am. I live on the other side of the world. It doesn't matter. God knows who you are. And because I know God, I know you through God. And so I appreciate you. Sister Winsley, I see you. You know I appreciate you, Sister Winsley. Now, I may not shout out to everybody that's talking to me, social media, but I make time for those seniors, so for those senior citizens that log into this program. Sister Winsley, I see you, love you, and I certainly appreciate you. Well, Astria Goolsby is my guest today, a University of Mississippi graduate and a certified fitness trainer. She's much more than that. Astria has spent over 15 years transforming lives through health and wellness. That's it. As the founder of Verve Health Station and a project manager for statewide fitness initiatives, she is committed to improving health across the state of Mississippi, not only the state of Mississippi, I would dare say the nation and globally. She has a global perspective. Let me go back to Sister Winsley again. Sister Winsley, I know I've been out. My wife and I, we've been traveling. We've been in Australia, New Zealand, and Florida, and Texas. But you thrilled my heart this Sunday when I saw you in church. And when I saw you, Sister Winsley, in church, I had to come over and hug you because you are blessing me. Thank you for tuning in. Pastor James says sometimes he has a challenge getting his wife to log on the program. But when you have a plus 80-year-old sweetheart like yourself that's able to Google and tune in and to peruse the internet like you do, he said, boy, that's something to admire. So your pastor gave you kudos, Sister Winsley, and we appreciate you. Astria Goolsby, welcome to Defining Moments.
Hello, Larry.
Where in the world have you been?
I've been working.
You have been.
I've been in the trenches.
Yeah, you have been.
Yeah.
So when I entered, and listen, she has more accomplishments to her life, her body of work, but those things are important because she has worked hard to get where she is through ebbs and flows of life. When people look at you, they make an assumption, oh, she's all healthy, she's very smart, she's very glamorous. But you didn't get here overnight. It has taken a lot of a lot of hard work, a lot of bumps and bruises. And so what is the first thing that you would tell people about having a good health about themselves?
A good health about yourself is to, I'll go with my motto, assess, educate, and train. Assess where you are, educate yourself about where you are, and then train means then you start moving. But don't start doing things until you make an assessment of yourself. As far as your health, whether it's mental, spiritual, financial, whatever it is, assess it first, educate yourself about the findings, and then you move.
When people look at you, they make the assumption that you're you're a personal trainer. You are that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll never forget when I met you years ago, I'm like, you know what, Astria, I need to lose about 20 pounds, and I need a personal trainer, but I need somebody that's up in my face. And you're like, all right, let's go. I'm like, I probably need to back off because you look serious. You answered that too quick. But then I said, what is the first thing you would do?
Mm-hmm.
And you said the first thing that I would do is sit down with you and get an assessment about your life. Mm-hmm. Not just how many pounds you want to lose,
mm-hmm.
because if you don't bring some corrective measures in other parts of your life, I can get those pounds, help you get those pounds off, but you're going to put those pounds back on. So why was it necessary for you to say the first thing I'll do is sit down with you and talk to you about your life?
Well, because it is about lifestyle changes. And I know, that's a hot topic right now. Would you agree? Like everywhere you go, you hear lifestyle change, right?
Yeah.
Make small changes. But since I started back in 2005 is when I became a trainer. And I like to say personal fitness professional.
Okay.
Because I'm going to get personal with your life. And I need you to know that I am a professional at this. And fitness is something that does come into it. But I'm your personal fitness professional. I'm the person that you can go to talk about the things that are going on outside of the fitness center, your living room, wherever it is you're going to actually exercise. Because that's the part that's going to make or break your journey or tell us how long it's going to take on this journey. Because there's a time frame. Usually there's going to take some time. And, and if you don't have that personal person, because being a trainer, man, listen, it gets personal. I don't know. My trainers out there, man, you guys can attest. It gets personal. People come in and you're working out with them and they tell you all their business. And I'm going to tell you all mine. You're going to be my therapist. I'm going to talk to you about what happened this week versus some of the advice you gave me last week.
And that's good.
And it is a good thing. You develop a personal relationship with your clients. So
it's almost like therapy as well.
It is like therapy, but I don't like to cross that line because I do believe in respect for people's fields and industries. So I don't cross that line. I will give guidance. And I tell people, you always listen to what people say and just put it in your pocket. So I tell people, put what I said in your pocket if it's not about fitness. And if you ever need it, pull it out. But as far as like, you moving off of what I say because I said it, I will, if I feel like someone needs a therapist or they need to talk to someone with that education behind them, I will refer you out.
Are you ever too old?
No.
You're like, listen.
You're not too old for anything.
Okay. Well,
no one's too old for much of anything. Much of anything. Much of anything.
See, that's the kind of friendship that I have with Astria. She and I have that banter. And you need those kinds of people that will not just go along with you just to go along with you to be in agreement, but they bring correction because they really care about you enough to tell you the truth. So you're saying it's never too old for you to make a life choice decision for something that's positive for your life.
Oh no, you're never too old to make a life choice decision for something that's positive in your life. You should every morning you wake up, you should be striving for positivity. And I'm so glad that the words lifestyle change and, positive energy and negative energy is so popular right now because it needs to be, because those are the foundations. You have to make lifestyle changes to any fitness, growth, anything you do. And you need to have positive energy around everything that's going to grow. A plant doesn't grow in negative energy. Did you know that? A plant will wither up. It'll wither up with negativity around it.
It's interesting that you would say that because the first thing that I do every day, every morning that my wife doesn't beat me to do it, we have plants all around our house. And the first thing that I do, of course, we close the blinds at night, but in the mornings we open the blinds up. And the reason why we do that is so that the sun can get to the plants.
You know what else you're doing?
What am I doing?
You're showing your plants that you care.
Wow.
You're showing your plants that you care. You're nurturing them. They feed. People. Life gets deep, man.
Are you saying that people need nurturing too?
Yes, people are plants. We're all planted. We were planted here by God, and
people. You say stuff just on. People are plants, and we were planted here by God.
We were planted here by God, and He waters us with the people around us, with the experiences that we have. He nurtures us. The sun comes up and the sun goes down.
So you have to be careful who's in your environment.
You have to be careful
which soil you are planted in, because it can be corrosive. It can kill you. It can become infectious.
And God can repot you. He can pot you into a different pot.
So what is your story, Astria? How did you get here? Because for someone to say she's just a personal, you rephrased it. You're a personal
fitness professional.
Professional, and you're much more than a physical trainer. But you bring all of the aspects of the space that the Lord has put you in. You care about the holisticness of a person, spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally, not just making a six-pack, that too. But how did you get here? How did you get to this place in life?
It's, and it's even deeper.
What's your story?
It's even deeper than that, Larry. I'm going to start with my story is I was crying, walking out of the fitness center, needing a job. And I said, God, I need a job. I was about to be evicted and walked around the corner. And Miss Linda Loeb, she was a professor at Ole Miss. And she said, hey, Astria, do you need a job? I said, yeah. She said, good, upstairs personal trainer.
Just like that.
Just like that. And I laughed at her a year before that and told her that I would not become a personal trainer. And
wow.
When she said personal training, I said, okay, God, let's go because I need to pay rent. And so it was just it was up from there, as the kids say. Everything has been just coming to me from there, and it's bigger than just training because it's so deep. Because I have a parallel experience with training and programs or field facility management or whatever you want to call it. Even at Ole Miss, when I became a trainer, I was also staff leader, writing down the attendance and making sure that people clocked in and were there on time. I was managing. Even when I got out, I would work a fitness class, but I would also be the person that they came to ask, hey, how can we have this program at the Boys and Girls Club? How can we, can we put, so I started out with creating programs, getting programs started, because 20 years ago in Mississippi, you didn't see up in Northeast, you didn't see a lot of health and fitness programs for people in general. So I would start programs and I would work them.
And you've actually written curriculum.
I have written a curriculum, yes. Total wellness. Utilizing the 8 dimensions of wellness to stay on track with your fitness program.
So, the reason why I asked you how did you get here and how to get it started, because the very motivation of this program, Defining Moments, I believe that we're all created for a purpose, on purpose. God didn't create any of us like an assembly line. You're on the conveyor belt and God has a cookie cutter and he just kind of stamp us out and like, okay, I want you to just kind of meander throughout life. Whatever you want to do is kind of fine with me. That God created us for a purpose. There's a need in the space called time, and God created us to address that need in this time. So, but God, I believe that he allows us through free will, through free choice, to kind of walk throughout life. Then all of a sudden, at that second, at that minute, on that day, on that month, on that year, God says, now, this is your purpose. Now, you have a choice. You can embrace it and walk in it, or you can ignore it.
And take the long road.
And just take the long road.
Because it's coming back around.
And it's coming back around. So the question is, what do you do when God introduces you to your defining moment? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. My guest today is Astria Goolsby. She is much more than just a physics trainer. She's talking She's a personal fitness professional.
Yes.
So you said it's coming back around. Which route did you choose? I said God introduces himself. God introduces himself to every single person. There's no excuse. People, unfortunately, and I used to be one of those people are 90, 100 years, 80 years, like, I don't know my purpose. Well, my question is, did you ever simply ask God?
Did you ever ask God?
Did you ever ask God? Because God wants you to know your purpose. Because it is in your purpose that you're most effective.
You know what I found that people say, I don't know my purpose, or what is my purpose? And then they go out and just do stuff. They don't do anything that's trying to find their purpose. They just go out in the world and start hanging out with friends and go out to parties. They're not thinking about their purpose as they leave that moment.
Hold that thought. So rather than asking God, what is my purpose, and waiting, because communication is not only just talking, but listening, like prayer. Prayer is not only just talking to God, but then listening to God as well. Finish what you were about to say.
So I'm going to say that I see a lot of people, I ask, because I've learned as I've gotten older that people who don't know their purpose, I have to figure out what is my purpose in your world. Like, why, if you don't know your purpose, I have to be careful, because people who don't know their purpose will drift off and they'll take you with them.
Oh,
because you're positive and you're good to be around.
Slow down, Aunt. I've always had to. You talk fast, but I have to listen slowly with you. I've always had to do that. Repeat what you just said. If you
don't know your purpose, people who don't know their purpose, they will
drag you.
They will float around and they'll drag you with them.
I'm about to leave Kim. Just give it to Astria. She'll take it over from here.
They will. They'll drag you with them.
And how devastating.
It is. It's devastating when you know your purpose and you look up and you find yourself so far away from your purpose. And you have to be, when you find people who don't know their purpose, you really need to go to God and figure out, why am I in their life, or am I meant to be in their life? Because you could, a lot of times I play a small part, because they could just be there just to watch you. I've been in a relationship where the guy says that he was grateful for me to be around because he saw me go through things, trust God and pray, and come out on the other side. And he started praying.
Wow.
He was not praying when we first met. And I didn't judge him. He said that he used to pray. And I was like, oh, well, I'm not worried about you then.
Yeah.
Because you got a piece of that word the first time.
That's right.
You just going through a phase.
That's right.
And so, he was like, no, I don't do all that. And even when we used to say grace, he would start eating while I'm saying grace. Never said anything. Then he got to where he would be quiet when I say grace. But that's because he was close enough to see me go through challenges and to see me say, God, what do you want me to do? And to see me not make decisions and to see me not move and to see me pray when I could feel the world, just praying, just like, okay, God, I came home from a stressful day. I still don't know what I'm doing. Let me pray and ask for guidance. He would see me make the hard decisions that did not follow the crowd. And then he saw me come out of that fire or come out of that turmoil. And when you see me come out the turmoil, you notice that everybody else is still in that world and space and they're not really moving. And he thought people were moving, but they weren't moving. They were just in this world being content, doing the things that they wanted to do.
Well, you know what? We always taught our children growing up, be careful of your friendship, but be careful of your community, because either they will influence you or you will influence them. Whichever part of you feed, then that is the part that will grow the most.
That's the part.
And so you kept praying, you kept believing, and all of a sudden he started praying.
Oh yeah, he went to church about 2 years afterwards, because in our relation, I kind of knew at that time. That was one of those flags you don't want to watch, you don't want to listen to, ladies. I'm just saying, you see the red flags because you're not equally yoked. And so, not saying that, I don't say that anyone is right or wrong. It just comes to when it's touching my life. But I knew then. And I talked to my mom. I went to my spiritual people in my life that I go to for advice, and I told them. And they were like, well, if you're going to be around, you have to show him who God is through your walk.
Wow.
And that became the mission.
You can't assimilate who he is or who he was. Because associations brings by assimilation, positively or negatively. Either you will rub off on them and influence them, or they're going to start influencing you.
So you have to be conscious. And that's what I was saying about purpose. People say, oh, I don't know. What is my purpose? I don't know my purpose. And then when you leave that moment, you're no longer thinking about your purpose. That means that if you don't know your purpose and you really do want to know your purpose, when you step out, when you ask and pray and say, God, what's my purpose? Or you ask yourself and say, what is my purpose? When you walk out the door, you need to be thinking of your purpose. It has to be on your mind, or you're not going to recognize it when it comes around, because your mind is going to be too busy processing the drinking that you're around, because you could be around drinking to help some people stop drinking or to see what drinking does to people.
But you don't need to become who they are.
But you don't need to become who they are.
So this is what you mean when you say that you're a personal fitness professional. If they just want you to engage your services to lose weight, okay, that's it. But what you're saying is, Astria Goolsby, your company is much more than just, I just want to lose weight. If you don't focus on the whole of who you are, I'm going to help you get it off. And if I go out of your life, if I walk out of your life, if I come back 6 months from later, you're going to gain all that weight back because you haven't dealt with a lot of the underlying issues.
And usually we don't even get to that if you don't deal with the underlying issues.
Wow.
We're not going to make it there.
Wow.
We're gonna be arguing. You're not going to like me, and you'll leave, but they usually come back. It might be next year, it might be 6 months, but they'll come back because they'll see that what I'm saying is not what you want, because it's not what you see in media. You see instant gratification. You see this, you see that. But I allow people, go out, try it, because some people have to learn by making mistakes. And so when you do come back, I'm like, okay, are we ready to change our life? Are you ready to let me in? Are you ready, to do the work that it really takes? Or they lose the weight and then they still come back years later. And it's not just fitness, Larry. It is when I work in programs, I need to see everything. You tell me that you want to do a diabetes program in your community. I need to see the grant. I need to see who's over the grant. I need to see how much money we have in the grant. I need to see what money is allocated that I can utilize and why. I need to see who my team is. I need to see who the community is that we're serving. I need to see what the community has. You have to look at the whole picture when it comes to health, whether we're talking about an actual person or we're talking about a program that influences that person to be healthy?
Usually, I've learned just through life and being academically trained, the very thing that the very thing that people become passionate about is the very thing that the Lord saves them from. What's Astria's story? Because you're very passionate about health and fitness.
I'm passionate about overcoming obstacles in life.
Yes. Now, when I say fitness, I don't mean calisthenics. I mean fitness emotionally, physically. You are very passionate about a person being fit.
Well, do you know fitness is just being better today than you were yesterday? That's how you should think of fitness. You shouldn't think of fitness as muscles and all that.
That's good.
Because I thought you were going to ask me, is someone ever too old to be fit?
I did ask you that.
But they're not, because you can be 90. You can be 90 years old and sit in a chair. I had someone tell me, oh, my mama don't move. Give it to me. Go and give it to me. We're going to sit in this chair and we're going to move one knee at a time, a leg up. And you're going to look up 3 weeks later and she's going to be standing up and up by herself.
Wow.
Something that she's never done. She's going to be lifting things that she couldn't lift before. She's more fit. So fitness is just being better than you were yesterday. That's how I look at fitness. It is, and we can set goals and say, okay, you can stand up today. So the goal is in 3 months, Miss Ella, I want you to be able to stand up, lift your knees 3 times on the right and the left. And I want you to walk down to the end of your mailbox and come back. And I need your heart rate to be at this. And that's what our goal is. And we're going to work towards you doing that.
So the question is, how did Astria get here? Because you are the poster child for let's get it. Let's jump in it. Let's get it. Let's get committed to it. I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna even try to paint the picture that I'm perfect. But I believe in humanity, and I believe in the best of who you are and what's inside of you.
Well, when you say how did you get here? Man, I had a feeling. It was really a feeling.
Hold on. Sometimes we make the mistake of believing that people are perfect, and they were born into perfection.
Oh,
and they've never had any off seasons. They've never made any mistakes. They've just they were born with their purpose and they embraced it. And it's just been caviar and champagne and goosebumps and fairy dust all of their life.
I can say this. I did find my purpose at a very young age, and I did embrace it. I did because I grew up in the church, and actually I grew up so much in the church. I didn't go to church for a while.
Okay.
But I always had God, right? That's the thing about teaching your kids and putting them in the church. You put them in the church, because when life starts hitting you and you have nowhere else to turn, those kids who have prayed in church, they're going to start praying. And when they see that, when I start praying, I see things moving. And so they, you don't leave God. So the way you raise them is to, just teach them. So I grew up with God. So when I found my purpose, I did embrace it and I did value it. But I had so many issues from my environment that I would get pulled away from my purpose at various times in my life. And so I'm thankful that I serve a God that even when I was distracted and pulled away, whenever I did either turn back to my purpose voluntarily or I turned back to my purpose because I found myself all alone, when I came back to my purpose still elevated. It's like he did not punish me for getting off track. And I've been so thankful, and I try not to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. I just do something different. But we're learning that those rules of life that you follow, the morals and guidelines, man, that if you follow them, it's going to be okay. It's not always fun because that waiting period, we talked about that waiting period gets hard. And people don't really understand what waiting really means. And it is different for each person's life, I feel. But I truly, I embraced my purpose at a very young age, and I'm very grateful for it. But I did because of the issues that I did have, because of my environment and the just the way I grew up in life and where I grew up and the people around me. I got pulled off because of the issues that came from that.
So let me ask you this. And ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to join us tomorrow at 11 o'clock for the podcast, radio program. We have to take commercial breaks and FCC rules. You have to take IDs, but the podcast is uninterrupted. You are going to be blessed by my conversation with Astria on tomorrow. That's at 11 o'clock on ignitems.tv. We're on like 20 different other platforms, broadcast digital platforms globally. Whatever it is, you pull us up, we're going to be there. But tomorrow on ignitems.tv, that is our own personal digital platform that we launched a couple of months ago, and we have a lot of wonderful things to share over the next couple of months. But for those persons that feel I veered from my past, all right, I either walked out of my past, I got pulled out of my past, I got influenced out of my past. So now, like the prodigal son, I'm in the hog pen, so I feel like disqualified. Because the prodigal son felt he was disqualified, so from his inheritance, he had rehearsed a speech he was going to give his father. Listen, you don't have to put me back in the house, just make me one of your servants. But for those persons that feel disqualified and they can no longer be used by God inside of the organic original purpose, what would you tell them? I want you to look at him and talk to him right now.
I need you to tell me, what did the prodigal son do?
He got up.
He got up and did what?
He dusted himself off and he started walking towards home.
Get up.
Uh-oh.
Dust yourself off and start walking towards home.
Come on.
It's that simple. It's that simple. You get up, you stand up, whether you find yourself drinking, you find yourself in jail, you find yourself a victim of a crime because you're somewhere you weren't supposed to be, or you were doing something you weren't supposed to do. You find whatever situation you find yourself in, you find yourself with no money at all, car evicted, whatever. Stand up, breathe, dust yourself off, and start walking back towards home.
I fell into that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you asked me, what did the prodigal son do? I fell into that one.
Well, that's how I lived my life, though, because I didn't have...
And you can't allow people to keep you stuck in the hog pen.
Well, I mean, I lived my life by reading those verses and finding how does that verse relate to my life, because I didn't have the guidance, because when you have a certain purpose, nobody before you has done this. No one's there to guide you. And the one or two people that you do have to guide you, if they don't have that book, if they don't know those words and help you to interpret it, they're going to be useless. But that's how I did get through it. I read that book.
Stay tuned. Listen, we'll be right back. You said, and we're being very sensitive, and I know you are, but sometimes we have a tendency to complicate something that's so simple. You asked me, so Larry, yeah, okay, he had made mistakes, he had squandered his living, he found himself in the hog pen eating slop with the hog. Mm-hmm. But you said, no, what did he do?
What did he do?
Finish the story. Listen, Astria.
Tell me the story.
Finish the story.
Because that's how I'm going to do it.
Listen, you got to, Astria, I'm about to run up out of here. You got to finish the story.
You got to finish
because the story didn't end with the prodigal son in the hog pen.
Now, you can stay in that hog pen for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years. But just know that whenever you have the free will, so whenever you decide to get up and dust yourself off and start walking back towards home, then it's waiting on you.
Quantify the word walk back towards home. What does that mean?
Okay, so I'm glad you said that, because that's how I had to do it, right? I look at the word and I read it and I'm saying, okay, now how do I do that? So for me, it would be, it is ending relationships. That's how I dust myself off.
Come on.
Getting myself, you know what? I don't need to be in this bar every Thursday night, or I don't need to be drinking the way that I'm drinking. Or I don't, I need to be more savvy with my finances because I'm not able to do the things I need to do for my purpose, right? So that's dusting yourself off. Those are just small parts of
powerful.
That's dusting yourself off.
That's powerful.
It's assessing, again, assess, educate, train. It's assessing what's going on with me right now. What is it that I'm doing that's different than what I was doing 2 years ago when I wasn't in this situation? Oh, I'm drinking. I'm hanging out with these people. Okay. I'm hanging out at this place. Okay, I'm wearing these clothes. Sometimes it's simple things. So then I tell you, and what is it going to hurt you? My thing is, I don't argue with people and go back and forth. I just go, well, what is it going to hurt you to change that? If you get rid of those people, all right, what are you losing? Your light's going to go off. You're not going to be able to eat. What's going to happen? And even if that's the case, we still got a little more conversation behind that. But are they good for you? If they're not, then how about we just don't talk to them for a while? Just stop answering the phone. Let's dust ourselves off. Drinking. What is it doing? Is it helping you? Have you checked your numbers? Are you gaining weight? My skin will break out. I don't look bright and bushy. My eyes change colors. So let's stop drinking. I told myself, I tell you what, we're not going to drink at home, because I would drink wine at home, right? And I remember one day I drank a whole bottle and I was like, whoa, I'm not even buzzed. So that's a problem.
Wow.
Seriously, we're just watching.
Red flag.
Yeah, just
you drank a whole bottle and you're not even buzzed.
Watching television. I had gotten where I was watching television with a glass of wine, and I'll feel good, but usually I have 2 glasses of wine and I'm like, oh, I got to go to sleep, or, oh, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Now it is, so at that point, let's stop drinking. So dust yourself off. Start walking back towards home. Is get to that purpose. What is my purpose? I need to go. Let me focus every day on what it is, my clients. If my business shut down, how do we get it back up and going? Because, COVID happened. Life went a little down slope at that point. So, yeah, finding your purpose.
So, and I want everybody to come in, so I'm kind of meandering a little bit. So, wow. So failure doesn't necessarily have to mean final.
Failure never meant final.
Because you've had to dust yourself off, but look at you.
Yeah, and I've never called it failure.
I've had to dust myself off. Then what would you call? And I wouldn't even, because that sounds so final.
Yeah,
that sounds so
not,
final and defeatist.
I mean, when do you really fail?
I consider it like a test, a lesson.
Yeah, a test. It's test time. It's test time. Things are gonna come at you. What are you gonna do? And even when you make the not best decisions, what did I after? But you have to do things. Don't try to do everything at one time. It's just like making lifestyle changes, small changes. First, I'm going to stop hanging around these people, because they're feeding me. They're the ones that's telling me, girl, let's go do this. Girl, come on, go out. Girl, let's do it. They're feeding me. So let's just kind of back up from that. And it doesn't mean be mean to these people. It's just that that's not your world, And so then after I dust myself off and I start looking at my purpose, and this is me personally, because I found my purpose early, right? So I look at my purpose. That's my home. And so
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Your purpose is your home.
Yes.
Hold on. That's a T-shirt right there. My purpose is my home.
Mm-hmm.
I felt somebody saying, wait, listen, no, don't grab that pen, Mr. Truck Driver. You're driving. Just tune back in. That's powerful.
Yeah.
My purpose is my home.
Your purpose is your home. It's where you can go no matter what. That when you do find your purpose, it's never going anywhere. I didn't have a fitness build. I didn't have my fitness studio anymore. I didn't have any more clients. I thought that, I got up and I moved to Texas. I moved to Dallas for about 2 months one time, and things happened out there, and I ended up right back at home at my parents' house, looking at the ceiling, asking myself, how did I get here? Because at one point I had a studio, I had my name, I was speaking, I had contracts, and then all of a sudden things started slowing down, and then I made a rash decision and went a different way, and things went left. And this is like maybe 6 months to a year in, things had went left. I had made a change, things went left, right? And this is because I didn't want to wait in my purpose. That's a whole, because this thing is a life. This is not something. None of these things happen in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and I'm still just getting to a point of where I am now. I wasn't in this point this time last year. I'm in this point today, meaning I've grown. I've been growing every year. So so I had to learn that when I did lay down and I was looking at the ceiling and I was like, how did I get back here? I'm in my old room from high school with a car and only a tub of clothes. That's it. No money, no nothing. And my parents coming in saying, so what you gonna do? I don't know what I'm gonna do. Leave me alone. Let me think. Let me pray. I don't know. And so at that point, it was, it took time. This is over a course of months. I got up and I went out one day and somebody said, hey, Astria, you still training? And I was going to say, no, I'm not. But because if I was waddling in it, thinking I'm over, no, I'm not training anymore. My certification lapsed and I don't have a studio anymore, and I've been doing I don't train anymore. But I said, yeah, I do. So I went to the gym and I trained them, and I instantly felt better. Like, it brought me joy. And so I just started doing that. And some people that I was training at that time, I didn't charge them money. I just trained them just because they needed help. So getting back to caring, getting back to, and the knowledge just comes so natural to me, to be honest. When it comes to fitness and health, it's like when the people tell me what's going on with them, I don't know. It's a gift. It really is a gift. I can tell you when you need to go see a doctor. I can tell you when you need to talk to a therapist. And people might think that that's easy, but it's not as easy, because it's just people just talking. They're not saying, hey, this is what's wrong with me, Astria. They're just talking. I'm like, Or they're just, going through life. So I went towards my purpose. And once I got focused on my purpose, I felt better. And then all of a sudden the door opened up and somebody called me from Jackson and said, hey, we have a contract for you. I said, okay, let's go there. And so I ended up in Jackson, and I noticed that things just started moving.
You said something a moment ago. You said waiting in your purpose. I want you to explain that, because that's powerful. It is, for me, I discern what you were saying, but just for me, that once you get in your purpose takes work. You can't say I'm done. You've got to continue to work in your purpose. Our beloved graphic designer came in while we were ready, before we came on studio. Crystal, she was a hot shot. She has a company. The name of her company, Firefly Design. Ladies and gentlemen, if you need a logo, if you need a website, if you just need a branding, Firefly Design. Firefly Design. That's right. Go ahead and put it up, Kim. Firefly Design. Firefly Design. My logos, my website, my look. The first thing she's going to do is like Astria. She's not going to say, okay, let me just sit at the computer and do you like this? She's going to sit down with you for an hour and say, tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you see. And she is extraordinary. I would put her against anybody, period, globally. Firefly graphics. All right. Put that up as soon as you get it. There you go. So you said waiting in your purpose. You don't just get there and say, I'm done. I don't need any work. What is that? What are you saying when you say that?
When I came out of Ole Miss.
Thank you, Kim.
I came out of Ole Miss and I started contracting. I saw favor that God had on me with this, right? Oh, I thought I was there. Oh, Larry, this is 2005, 2007. We'll say 2007, between 2007 2009. I thought I had because I know I'm the greatest. I can feel what God is giving me. I can tell that I know things automatic. Hey, I'm the greatest. You need to hire me. Hey, I'm the greatest. I was going around to all these businesses. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest at what it is that I do. Health and fitness. I can coordinate a program. I can train anybody. What it is that I'm the greatest. And people were like, what are you talking? What? No. You just started last year. What are you talking about?
That's right.
No, it take people at least 10 years before they become good at what they do in business. Not me, because this is my purpose. Hey, I was shouting from the rooftops. I found my purpose and I am the greatest at it. And I had to wait in my purpose and I did not get it.
Wow.
I did not get it. And you have people that'll be like, you sure do a lot. They used to irritate me. Because I'm like, I'm doing my purpose. But I had to learn that people didn't understand what my purpose. They don't know what my purpose was, because I didn't really know. Because I'm going from training people to in a gym to having to train people in a park because they can't afford the gym membership or they don't want to be there, to creating programs because I needed a job because people couldn't afford to pay me, to people just giving me contract. Like it was so crazy. I was doing a lot. But I saw the vision on how it all synced together. I saw how, okay, God, I am the trainer, but you also have me going out and creating programs in these communities and helping these other trainers to have jobs so they can stay training and be in their field.
So let me ask you this. You said I saw.
I
like
saw.
unto me. I saw. I saw what the Lord put inside of me. Now, that being said, and I want to set it up just like that, I saw what was inside of me. I still see what's inside of me. Sometimes it can be disappointing when other people don't see it.
In the beginning, it was.
Yeah, it can be very hard and harsh.
Irritating.
Sometimes, yeah, and sometimes it can be people closest to you, like you don't see it. But that's why you have to believe in yourself. That's why you have to, because if you don't see it, everybody else won't get it. And sometimes it's not for others to see. Sometimes God says, this one is between me and you.
See, that's what I had to learn in the waiting in my purpose. I had to stay in my purpose, even when people said you're doing a lot, or they would say, I was like, oh, I'm busy. And they were like, that's just, that's your choice. Because I wasn't making a lot of money, because I was doing things for free, or I had to get because I did just start 2 years ago, and I'm 20 something years old saying you need to consult with me. I didn't even know what a consultant was. I picked that because I knew you couldn't hire me. I knew you had to contract with me. I'm like, I'm a consultant. So, it was just, it was the waiting in my purpose part that I found that people didn't understand, because I didn't know that. I didn't know that people would not understand your purpose, or when you talk about the vision. I thought maybe when I talk about it, everybody
people
understood.
Like, oh, I got it.
And then I started to hear myself, and I was like, it does sound like it's all over the place. So then somebody told me you got to have an elevator pitch. And I'm like, how do I fit everything I do into an elevator? I'm like, I don't get it. So, but waiting in my purpose, just keep doing your purpose and not worry about the people that have something to say about it, not worry about how much money you make off of it. I know that seems crazy this day and time.
Stop right there, because I feel somebody pressed upon me right now saying, I want you to look at them right now. Now, listen, I don't want you to wreck, because I know some of you right now, I sense that somebody's at a truck stop right now, a truck driver, you're streaming this right now. Good. You stay parked, all right? I don't want you to wreck. And whatever you're doing, I want you to listen to this right now, because you're about to be encouraged by someone who knows what she's talking about from experience. How do I wait? Give me some advice on how to wait in my purpose.
When you're waiting in your purpose, and I don't care what you say, you're going to try it and you'll find out. You can't be worried about people understanding. You can't be worried about how much it pays. You can't be worried about what's next. You just have to do what it is you're supposed to do that day at that time. As long as it's in your purpose. If you found your purpose, as long as it's in line with your purpose. And so what I would do is I would say, okay, I tell you what, I'll take any job as long as it's around health and fitness. Anything outside of that, I got to turn it down. I don't care if I can't pay my bills. I don't care if I need and people don't even know that my phone's been disconnected, because when my phone was disconnected, nobody called me. Look at God. And when people started back calling me, my phone was back on. People didn't know that I didn't have anywhere to stay at one point. They don't understand that part. My family didn't understand. And sometimes your family won't support you because they don't understand what you're doing. You can't get upset with them, because your job is to just wait in your purpose. Just wait. Just wait it out. And you'll know when it's time to move. He will take care of you. I remember not having anywhere to stay. And this is recent. Not having anywhere to stay, not being able to find anywhere to stay safe. And on top of that, I had to be gone by that Sunday. It was Thursday. And somebody called me and said, well, where are you moving to? I said, I don't know. They said, have you looked? I'm done looking. I can't stress about this. I got to get up and go train somebody who can't pay me. I got to go train somebody who can't pay me. That Thursday evening, I got a phone call. I got a text message that said, call this number. And they had 2 units waiting on me and told me to pick one. 2 minutes. Wait in your purpose. You can't stress about it. You can't worry about it.
Even when it seems that the sky is falling. Even seems though it is 11:59:59. The word of God says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. In other words, David says, yea, though I walk through the valley and shadow of death, I fear no evil, because he's with me. What you've got to realize is what I've had to realize, what you've had to realize, that Kim has had to realize, Crystal had, anybody that walks long enough with God and has a track record, he won't oftentimes stop the storms. He'll let you go through the storm, but you can guarantee he's going to be in the storms with you. And that if you're in a storm, the storm has purpose.
The storm has purpose. And just wait in your purpose. And find you people who also know what it's like to wait in the purpose.
Wow.
That's what you have to do.
Surround yourself with people that have storm experience.
Purposeful.
Because there are some people that will have you, you wasting your time. Man, why are you? Listen, you wasting your time. You better run out of this thing.
And you're going to have more of them
and
than you will those who understand.
That's right.
You're only going to get one or two.
And it's tempting to run out of your purpose because your waiting can be painful.
Because you're going to be evicted tomorrow. You're going to be evicted tomorrow. You have to move by Sunday. It's Wednesday. So am I being, and then you have to do good with what he gives you. But even if you don't, the beautiful part about your purpose is even when you don't, you're going to have to move again, but you're going to end up being okay. And it's probably going to be somewhere nicer, less expensive. And you just keep waiting in your purpose.
Is this the motivation of how you started your company? And thank you, Andy. That's a powerful word you just said. My purpose is to follow him. Everything else will align.
Everything else will align.
You follow God.
And you have to break that down too, because that can confuse young people. My purpose is to follow him. Follow him doing, but you have to chop things up for young people these days. So how do I know I'm following him? Being nice, doing the right thing, feeling positivity, feeling good, those things. And if it's not harming somebody else, you might know your purpose.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. And your purpose is not. Let's get the basics right. Mm-hmm. Your purpose is not to harm. Mm-mm. Your purpose is to do good.
Your purpose is to do good.
So was this the motivation of how you founded your company? And the name of your company again is?
It's Verve.
Now, what's the website for Verve?
Verve.
Yes, Andy, you're right. She is amazing.
VerveHealthStation.com.
Listen, Andy, I'm gonna get her in our gym, Andy, and I'm gonna get her somebody to train, and I'm just gonna laugh at him as she trains him.
He'll be walking around trying to do exactly what I tell him to do. I've been doing this too long. I already know how that is.
So your website again is?
It's Verve, VERVE, healthstation.com.
Now, you not only train in person, but you also train more importantly, virtually as well.
Yes.
All right, I want to talk about that. Hold on. Andy said, let's go. Let's go. Let's.
All right, Andy.
Hey, listen. So you not only train, you can't be you can't be all over the world. Mm-hmm. So your concept is, you have a few, clients that you'll train in person, but you can also train virtually. Yes.
So I do. I have an app.
Okay.
And we train on the app. And we are undergoing construction on the app right now to make it AI.
Okay.
Powered. So that is something that I am so very excited about. I thought I wasn't going to tell anyone until it came out, but that did just happen.
See, that's what happens when you get around Larry Nick. You're inspired. You thought you've been waiting in your purpose, but it just came out. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first.
Oh no! So, but yes, I do. I train online, and I do more consulting, the consultation part of it, and the assessments now.
And that is the uniqueness about your model, because yet it seems like people get the benefit of working out, the physicality, the transformation, the metamorphosis. That seems to be the outcome, but more so you're concerned with the whole person.
I do the consulting and the assessments for the most part. I have a handful of people, very few people that I actually train now.
Yeah.
But my goal right now is to feed other trainers that I feel understand my concept, my motto. If you understand that you cannot just push and yell and talk any kind of way to people, and that some people mentally you can't talk to people a certain way, even though that they don't block it or they're not upset about it, you still don't need to feed them that way.
But it seems to me that you are a champion for humanity. You are a champion for people.
I live on this earth. When I growing up, I was always the happy one. And life really kind of, I'm going to say, like, hit me so hard so many times that I had lost that. I lost that happiness, that just walking around smiling for no reason and saying hello and da-da-da-da. I lost that, but I had a mentor of mine tell me, he said, you got to get back and find that.
That's good.
That go back to when you were a child.
Okay, keep that. Because God put in me I'm an eternal optimist. What does that mean? That means I see every glass half full as opposed to half empty. Thus, our children have been taught the same way. It doesn't mean that I have blinders on. It just means that I choose to see the glass half full as opposed to half empty. And I love people, and I can talk to, I don't care who you are. If you don't want to talk to me, don't sit beside me on the airplane. Because somehow I'm gonna hunt you or nudge you.
I don't talk on airplanes.
I do. You don't need. I'm warning you right now. I'm warning you right now.
Sir,
don't.
please.
I'm warning you right now. Then just don't sit
Please,
beside me,
sir.
because I'm gonna speak to you. I'm gonna say hello, and I'm gonna bless you, or I'm gonna pray over you. I'm gonna do something. But before you get off that airplane, you are going to say something to me. But now I'm intuitive enough to know that if you don't feel like talking, then I don't jump in your space. If you don't feel like talking, if you want to go to sleep, if you're very private, if you're an introvert, I respect that as well. All right.
Planes just make me sleepy. I don't know what that's about.
They make me sleepy too, because I get on a lot of airplanes sometimes. And say, I'm going to read this book.
I go on the straight to sleep.
You know,
but
anywho,
yes.
What were you saying there?
Well, I was just talking about, the people around you can really make you feel that being happy is something wrong
It's
with
a
you.
dysfunction.
They're like, they think you're naive.
Yes, dysfunction.
They think, and I'm like, no, trust me. I grew up I was born in the 80s. Do you know how many aggressive black women that raised
right.
kids in the 80s?
Yeah.
They were not playing because they had to be single moms.
Yeah.
And so, and they were, at that time, it's so funny about women and the movement of women when it comes to just being able to be open about how they feel about being wives and being a woman and the way you're being talked to and all those type of things. And so African-American women kind of set the ground for that, the foundation to be able to say, hey, you can't talk to me any kind of way.
So are you saying that your personality when we start peeling the onion back in your life, I mean, you have a sharp personality?
I do have a sharp personality. I choose to be nice. I choose to be sweet.
I do too.
Because I grew up in an environment where these women would snap out on you and walk away and praise the Lord.
Now, I believe you, as long as I've been around you, you're very serious. You're guarded, means that people just can't talk to you any kind of way, and you don't allow males to offend you. No. And to talk to you any kind of way.
Oh no!
But you meet people where they are. And
those are the things that I took from the aggressive environment. I took that from my aunts and things. They'll snap off on you. So I could have grew up snapping off, but I took the reasons why they got upset, because a man has been disrespectful and said something out the way, because somebody has spoken to them wrong, because they have been wronged in some sort of way is why. But people didn't listen to black women at that time as to why they're snapping off. They just hear noise.
Yeah.
And they see anger.
And something wrong with you.
And something's wrong with them.
Listen, let me say, so I got to get you back.
So I chose to be nice. Of course I'll come back.
Will you choose to be nice and come back?
I would choose to be nice and come back.
Well, I can't say this. Every time I've engaged you, you've always been very pleasant, and you've always been very accommodating. You have very positive energy. And if people would like to support what you do or become your client, or to ask you for come speaking engagements, because you're all over the place, you speak everywhere, and you've created a curriculum for health and fitness, how can people contact you?
You can reach out to me on my social media platforms, Astria Goolsby. Very simple. You can message me, and I will respond to you. You can also go to my website, vervehealthstation.com, and I have contact forms, contact information. Just reach out.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I again ask you to join us tomorrow at 11 o'clock. You're going to be blessed on ignitems.tv. Look her up on her website, on her Facebook page. Be cautious if you ask her to be her professional trainer, because, boy, it'll help, but you're going to pay for it. Thank you for joining us. Astria, thank you for joining me.
Hey, my name is Kyle Reno.